Go to the Tools panel in Affinity Designer and select the Artistic Text tool. With that, just set font, I'm going with bold, 81 points, and you can of course resize it. And I'm just going to create the word type. Something very basic like that. And you can fill it with black, green, blue, whatever you want. Because what I'm also going to do is I'm going to fill it with some text itself. So I'm just going to again go over here and I'm going to select something else now. I'm just going to create another word, XYZ or 1, 2, 3. However, I don't want the same colour. Key thing is not the same colour as this, because obviously that's just not going to be any use because I'm going to put it inside. So I'm just going to change the colour. So just change it via the swatches panel. You can obviously change it up here, perfectly reasonable as well. So you've got 1, 2, 3. And I can make it small, big, whatever. However, edit and down to cut. And now with this selected, make something selected, go to edit and paste inside. So paste inside, you can see it's placed just where it was. And now what I can do, I can move it over. And you can see now you've got this type just inside this word type. And you can see it's limited by obviously the range there. And you could also hold down the Alt Option key. So just duplicate that. You can see as you do that, you can then add 1, 2, 3, or anything. Of course, I'm using 1, 2, 3. It could be X, Y, Z. And again, you can do that. And also you can always turn around and say, well, I want that to be big. And you can see as you do that, you can see the numbers go across all the type. And again, you can do exactly the same. So drag that down there. And again, resize that. You can also rotate it. You don't have to have it at the same angle. Hold down the Alt Option key. And also, you think, you know what, let's just change the colour. And I can quickly do that in the swatches panel. So I just select there and I can drag that up there. And again, I can resize, make that smaller. And I can think, you know what, I don't want it in Arial. I want it in some other one. I'm just going to go and choose just another font. But you could use any of the fonts you've got, as well as the size, of course. And you can just increase the size like that. You can stretch it as well. You don't have to keep it proportional. And then again, drag that over there. Again, change the colour there, or swatches panel. You can find that in the view menu, studio and swatches. And then you can just drag that over there and you can see you can create literally hundreds and hundreds of 1, 2, 3. And of course, the obvious thing is next is you don't have to have just 1, 2, 3. You can always think, you know what, I want 4, 5, 6 or something else, of course. And you can then duplicate that. So you can have multiple, just drag that around and build up all kinds of different sort of type designs within this type. And you can, of course, also go over here, effects, maybe add some effects to it. So click on effects, add a drop shadow, add a bevel, etc. Well, once you've done that, you can see now what's happened. You've got type over here and you can see all the type. It's just been moved just slightly ajar. Also, if you go with that selected, there's an option here right over here, lock children. You can lock children and then you can move this around so you can just see the underlying type is stationary, whereas you can move the big type around. Now, most of the time I don't do that and I can just resize it so it obviously resizes as well. And then you can then duplicate that design. So you can just drag that out and duplicate that design. Now they're disconnected. You can change type in this one. So you go to this one and you can change some of the type and it will be different from the other one. So you can resize that, move it around, etc. You don't have to have it the same. It's not going to update in this one as well. You again select that one, just move that there. If you decide, you know what, let's just reposition it, make it bigger and so on. And you can build up all complex designs. And again, the key thing is, of course, is that this type is still live. So you think, oh, you know what, I made a mistake. I want text. So I can just type something else in instead. You've got all the underlying text there. And again, you can resize. And again, you can go to the lock children and you can move it around. So you want to reposition it because, of course, you've added some more text. It might not be nicely aligned with that underline. So you can just change it. And again, you deselect lock children and move it around again. And again, hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate that and so on and create all kinds of very complex text designs. And also rotate that design. maybe go over here to effects, click there, turn around and say 3D, give it a 3D effect. So change the radius setting, close. It's all still live. You can still edit any part of it. And again, you can duplicate things. So hold down the Alt Option key again and duplicate, and so on. You can see also you've got the colour there. Well, you might think, you know what, I don't want pink as my background colour. I want green this time, or maybe red or orange or blue. So you can change it. You can go to the individual ones, and again, you can change that and turn around and say, I want black. So you can build up quite a complex design like that. Now, what you can also do is, of course, you've got all these. You can select them all. Select every single one of those. Go to Edit and Cut. Do exactly the same. And then go over here, create some new type. And this time, just go for XYZ. With that XYZ, what I can do, I can turn around and say, well, let's just go to Edit and again, paste inside. So paste inside, and you can see now your type is pasted inside of that. And you've got move that around and so on. You can see a sort of complexity. Obviously, it gets eventually a point where it just becomes very hard to actually, but the layers panel is still active, still live. You can go any point to any of those and just change any of these things. You can decide, you know what, I want that to be bigger, this to be bigger, that colour's wrong. Just go and select either the parent or the children and then manipulate those individually. Obviously, like I say, it does after a while get quite complex to modify different things, but you can do it. You can change things, stretch things, etc. Exactly as before. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.